So as you've seen from my flowcharts, every funnel has a few different components to it. And I'm going to explain how to think about these components, how to make sure that you have them optimized for conversions and maximum profitability. So we're looking at module number 4. Basically, let me just expand this little mind map. There are 4 core components to every funnel. There are the pages, right? Let's scroll down. These are the pages, right? So your opt-in page, your thank you page, your sales pages, checkout pages, upsell pages, and thank you pages, and so on. Right? So no matter what funnel you have, because we are talking about online businesses and digital marketing, you're gonna have website pages. Now, typically, like I said, that's a squeeze page. Squeeze page is a different name for an opt-in page. That's one type of a page. The second type of page is a sales page. It's where you actually sell something compared to the opt-in slash squeeze page, where you're just asking for an email address for free, right? The customer doesn't have to pay you anything. Well, they're not a customer yet at that point, but they don't have to pay anything. Here, you're selling stuff. They have to pay something. The checkout is where the actual purchase happens, right? And the OTO pages is the one-time offers or upsells. So that's where you make your upsells again. Here, these are the upsell pages. So these are the 4 different types of pages that you have in your funnel. The next core part of the funnel is your offers. Your offers are very important, right? Now, going back here, at each step of the funnel, you have an offer for your prospect, for your subscriber, for your potential customer, right? Here, you're offering something for free. That's your offer. So you need to think about, what am I going to offer that's going to bring in the right type of people, right? It needs to be high quality. It needs to be desired. It needs to filter out your ideal customer and so on. So, but that's the offer here. When you're making your first tripwire offer, so low ticket offer, you need to think about that. So what would be an appropriate first step for somebody to buy something from you that will then, set them on the way of buying more stuff in the future and so on and so forth. Then you need to think about, what are you offering as an upsell? What are you offering as a second upsell? If you have order bumps, which I suggest you do have, what are you offering here as order bumps? So these are your offers. You got your freebies, you got your core offer, you have your order bumps, you have your upsells. Okay. Now the emails are the next part of the system, right? As you can see here, these are like these black little icons here at the bottom. The emails are very important because they move along every new lead that you get. They move them along the customer value journey. They move them through the funnel, right? Think of it as free retargeting ads, but done via email. That's basically what it is. Once somebody starts the process, you have to get their email address. That's either via a freebie, or if you have a different type of funnel where you're driving people straight to a low ticket offer, that's why I suggest you have a 2-step checkout form. So you collect that email address, but at every stage, you have their email address. Whenever they stop and they don't continue moving through the next stage, that's where emails come in. You can send them back. You can make sure that they continue going through the funnel. Make sure you're increasing that average order value and that lifetime value of the customer. So that's the purpose of the emails. In the specific examples, we have a freebie delivery and upsell email sequence. That one is here, right? Somebody opts in for something free, for a little freebie. You will have an email sequence which will deliver that freebie. And in that sequence, you will also make the offer. I so recommend that to be a tripwire. You will offer that tripwire to your customer, right? The first initial purchase. The second type of emails is abandoned cart emails or abandoned checkout emails. All right. Anytime somebody starts a checkout, starts buying something, but they don't complete it, you should have a sequence sending them back. Why is that so important? Because most people do not complete the purchase in the first sitting. They just don't. Those are the numbers. So anywhere between 70 to 80%, and sometimes even more, people who start the checkout process don't actually complete it. If you don't have the abandoned cart email or email sequences or abandoned checkout sequences, you will miss out on a lot of purchases, which means your average order value will go down, which means your general profitability will go down, and it might break the entire funnel, right? So like all of these steps are crucial to implement. They implement in the correct way. So that's why they're all here on the map. So the third type of emails are welcome emails. That's basically the email. The purpose of those emails is to welcome the customer or the lead, the subscriber, to welcome them into your audience, into your world, welcome them to your email list, thank them for their purchase or thank them for downloading the freebie, but just basically continue establishing that relationship that they started basically by visiting your pages and opting in or maybe buying something and so on, right? So you want to have a human touch to it. You don't just sell and so on. You also welcome them once they take a positive action, right? To reaffirm that they make the correct decision. Now, the fourth component of any funnel is traffic, right? Once you have profitable funnels, you need to fill them up with traffic, right? So those are these icons here. Now, typically, You're looking at email traffic. That means just you're sending people from your email list to your offers into your funnel, right? You already have the email list. You can send those people into your offers. And then the other icons, there's a ton of different traffic sources. I specialized in paid traffic, but it works for free organic traffic. It works for any type of traffic. Typically, you will have paid traffic, which means ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, Pinterest ads, and so on and so forth, right? Then you'll have SEO. That's basically free. You don't have to pay for it unless you have somebody else doing it. If you're doing it yourself, you're actually paying with your time, which I would argue is even more expensive than just paying for it with money, and even more expensive than just paying for paid traffic. But that's another strategy that you can have to fill up your funnels. And then the third one is organic social media. Again, on the surface, that sounds like free. It's not free because you need to build it up. So that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of resources and so on. But those are the three core ways of how you can fill up your funnels with traffic. Now, this, of course, is not about traffic, so I'm not going to go into specific strategies here. But just so that you understand, once you have a funnel, that's just one part of it. You need to now think about how you're going to put a lot of people through those funnels, because it's all a numbers game. The more people go through your funnels, the more offers you make, the more profit you will make. And I've also seen that quite often with our agency, where people will have a good offer, a decent funnel, which with our help, they improve and it becomes a great funnel. But if they're not sending a lot of people into it, they might not make a lot of money, and they might not make enough money to where it's worth it to them. And then they think that the funnel doesn't work, or the thing doesn't work, when in reality, they just did not put enough people through it, right? So that's why traffic is very important, but it's also very complex and not part of this course. Just know that you have to fill up these funnels. Just putting the funnel out there and thinking, if I build it, they will come, Kevin Costner, that's not going to work. You need to actively think and actively promote and put people into your funnels.